the 2nd of November 2021, DNA evidence has led to the arrest of a man in connection to the 1996 stabbing murder of a convenience store manager in Orlando, Florida. The incident occurred early in the morning on the 3rd of February 1996, sometime after 5:40 a.m. when the store's alarm system was deactivated. Two Armoured car company personnel later dropped by to collect the previous night's receipts at Lil Champ's store located at 4100 Clarcona-Ocoee Road. That was when they noticed the business was locked and a small amount of blood on one of the doors, and the authorities were contacted. When the deputies arrived at around 7:15 a.m, they found blood throughout the store, along with a $1,000 cash deposit missing. When they entered the men's bathroom, they were met with a gruesome scene, where they found 31-year-old store manager Terrence Parkwood inside. He was covered in blood and had been stabbed 73 times and had his throat slit, leaving pools of blood staining the floor and walls. While working the crime scene in 1996, the investigators discovered the blood of an unknown individual inside the store in a freezer handle, but there was no way to make an arrest at the time based on blood evidence without comparing it to another blood sample, and the case went cold. In 2003, the blood evidence was entered into the CODIS DNA database, but no matches were found. The case remained cold until it was reopened for investigation in 2019. Then in March of 2021, detectives used blood evidence along with forensic genealogy to build a family tree and narrow their search down to one of three brothers. The detectives then looked into the lives of the brothers to see where they were in 1996. Detectives focused on 54-year-old Kenneth Stowe Jr., as they found he worked at Lil Champ convenience store for some time before Terrence. Kenneth, who was 28 years old at the time, lived in an apartment across the road from Terrence and would often visit the store to purchase scratch lotto tickets or buy a coffee. At 11 a.m. on the 27th of August 2021, detectives placed a GPS monitoring device on Kenneth's vehicle when it was parked outside his building supply business. At around 4 p.m. on the 14th of September 2021, the authorities followed Kenneth to a Lake County gas station, where he was seen discarding a grey plastic bag containing 7 empty beer cans in a dumpster. The cans were recovered and swabbed for DNA. In October of 2021, investigators were able to determine that the DNA on the cans matched the DNA found at the crime scene. Kenneth was arrested on the 2nd of November and has been charged with first-degree murder with a weapon and robbery with a deadly weapon. 18-year-old Daniel DeJames Beeman is in custody and faces the possibility of life in prison in the stabbing murder of 61-year-old Jolene Harshbarger over the Halloween weekend. Jolene's adult son, who lives with his mother, found a dead body in the bedroom and reported the matter to the police at 7:50 a.m. on the 31st of October. Officers dispatched to the property located at 6006 South 20th Street in Omaha, Nebraska. When they arrived, they found Jolene had been stabbed a dozen times. She had multiple stab wounds on her hands, arms, upper back and on the back of her neck, and she had been violently and lewdly penetrated. Deputies recovered the knife used in the attack. The authorities say that Daniel admitted to getting into a physical altercation with Jolene before grabbing a knife and stabbing her to death, and he had noticeable injuries to his hands. It's reported that the two met through one of the teenager's aunts, and it's believed that Daniel had consumed alcohol and meth at the time of the attack. Daniel grew up in Omaha, but had been living in Pleasanton, Texas. He'd only been back in town for a week with his father. Daniel was held at the Douglas County Correction Center and has been charged with murder and use of a weapon to commit a felony. He's held without bond.